Where's my Philly cheesesteak? I'm hungry. How you doing, Philadelphia? What a great city.
It's my first time here. Is there something I should know? Something I should see? I like that. Love you back. Thank you.
The LA Kings, thank you for the hockey players. Appreciate the trades. Oh, too soon? Too soon.
Is he talking about politics already?
Gee, how long did that take you?
We can't take him anywhere.
Oh my God.
That's it, Adam. Alienate the crowd. Good job.
So let's, I'm really curious about what y'all are up to, so we're gonna talk about what y'all want to talk about first, and then we can hand it over to Philly. Sound okay to y'all? Is that all right?
Yep.
All right, let's go ladies first. Jewel, what you been up to?
Oh, you know, just same old eating, shopping. I'm in the new season of The Killing, which is on AMC. It premieres tomorrow night, actually. I'm not in that one. So just watch the week after that. So yeah, that's what I've been up to, and it's an open-ended gig, so hopefully it'll go on for a little while.
Nice.
Thank you.
I just voiced the role of Wendy in Peter Panzerfaust, which is a comic, and that was really, really fun. And an episode of NTSF, which I was new to and had a really good time on. Yeah.
I am the queen of the world.
Yeah!
Well, just on Suits, basically. So I'm doing Suits. We just started shooting our 3rd season. And I'm doing a little moonlighting as my husband's wife on Hannibal. So that's what I'm doing. And shopping and eating and yeah.
I like that show, Hannibal.
It's a good show.
It's hardcore. It's right up my alley. I like this one. I was invited to play the XO on the guided missile destroyer in Michael Bay's new project for TNT called The Last Ship. It premieres not until June of 2014, but we have time to shoot, so I'll be going to work on that in a couple of months. But we did the pilot, and the network liked it, tested very well, so we got picked up, and it's an exciting...
Back in uniform. Back in uniform.
Yeah, back in uniform. Get back in the gym. Yeah, so that's me for the next 2 months, gym rat. Yeah. Yeah, that's my life, and ride my bikes and play with my dogs and stuff like that. Shoot my guns.
You like guns?
Oh, yeah.
I never would have guessed that. Really.
Yeah.
All right, well, I'm feeling lots of fanboy love right now, so let's go ahead and ask some questions. We're going to start to the right, and we're just going to alternate back and forth until someone says something inappropriate, then I'm going to call security.
Yeah. Oh, I hope that happens.
Unless, of course, it's one of you that says something inappropriate.
That most definitely will happen.
Are there youngsters in the crowd?
No.
Are there a few
Sorry in
youngsters in the
advance.
crowd? Do we have...
Yeah,
What's
this
her
looks like
P's
a
and Q's? Oh yes, well,
looks
that
like a
baby-
PG.
That baby won't understand. PG-13
Yeah.
crowd. Okay, gotcha.
We're not responsible for therapy payments. Yes, ma'am.
So, Firefly is, by the way, the best of the Whedonverse, but if you could be anybody else from all of the Whedonverse, who would you be and why?
I gotta say, it looks like they got a lot of sleep in on Dollhouse. And sleep is something I'm not getting a whole lot of these days, so I'm gonna go with that.
What would you want to be, Summer?
She was everybody.
I think
Yeah, he kept you working, man.
he did. He did. I think I would have been good as Angel.
Because I was gonna say Buffy, and you know what that means. Just saying. Inappropriate. Hello.
We're like in the Buffy.
Adam.
Hey, I would like to be Illyria. I already had the best roles in all of Whedonverse, so why would I want another one? Arrogance. Yes. I want to be Spike, of course.
Over here.
Hi guys. I'd first like to start by wishing Jewel a happy early birthday. If everybody else can say it. And I asked this question of Jewel in Ottawa, so I'm going to ask it of you guys. What are your current ringtones?
I liked that one.
You can answer again.
No.
Well, let me pull that up.
I can honestly say in about
they really have to
52
look it up?
conventions,
Yeah, no, let's see, where is
I've
it?
never heard that answer, that question asked before.
That's a great question.
I keep mine on vibrate.
You know what that
I
means.
turned let's see, let's see if we can.
Where the heck is it?
I gotta turn it up because I didn't want to be rude. So I am. Yeah, because that'll work.
One to one.
It's a ringtone.
Just call Adam, area code 713.
In the
Okay.
satin tights. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I think that's the best ringtone in the world. Communication breakdown. Come on.
Thank you guys.
Wow. Yes, sir.
Hey, I just want to ask Adam real quick. The stunt work on both the show and the movies.
You mean the stunt man? Yes.
I just want to know how much of it was you and how much was...
Half.
Very
Yeah.
good. Thank you.
Probably about precisely half.
The good half,
The safer half.
the safer half.
Yes.
And you don't ask.
But only because of,
Yeah, I'm wondering why you're discriminating. That's kind of like gender biased.
yeah. All right.
I'm curious.
What's your stunt person's name? Your
You always have the
what's
same one?
Who's your favorite stunt person that you had work for you? Mine's Bubba.
That's a very
I'm not gonna name it.
Tomorrow worked for me, with me mostly. Yeah. Yeah.
I love them all equally, but Bridget and Tree and Sonia and yeah, I've done a lot of long nights with those girls and they've all been fun.
PG-13, guys. PG-13. Thank you.
Y'all are filthy. I mean, really. and I like it.
Oh, I never get to do any stunts. We don't have dads mean that, I know. Thank you.
On the left.
Left again.
Yes, I know that you guys use Chinese to get around the censors, and I was wondering if it was really hard for you guys to learn it, and do you guys ever use it, or do you guys have a favorite line?
What does "shi niao" mean?
I have no idea. Your guys' Chinese are so horrible.
You speak Chinese?
Yes.
So I'm saying "shi now" wrong.
I have no idea. I mean, if it was like 2 words, like I usually get it. Like,
Right.
Like I asked Jewel to sign "The Serenity is La Sa," it's not La Sa, which means "The Serenity is not trash." But yeah, some like when you guys go rambling, like 5, 6, 7 words, like I'm lost.
Okay, so the question was a setup. Was it
Security.
hard to learn?
Security.
Yeah. Was it hard? What, do we remember it? No, it was just as easy to forget.
Yeah, Alan was particularly bad though. And since he's not here, we can talk shit about him.
And they seem
He
to
was
give
the
him
worst
they
at the
seem to
Chinese.
give him the long ones.
And they
too.
gave him they gave him paragraphs to do, and
Punish
he
him.
couldn't do it to save his life. And that scene in the movie, you know, that big long shot that starts with, you know, kind of introduces all of us along the thing. And he's supposed to say something. I can't remember what. No, that was English. That wasn't Chinese. It was in English, and he couldn't remember what it was. And they wrote it. He taped it on the console of the ship. So when he's looking down, that's him reading his line. And I'm pretty sure he did that with his Chinese too. Oops, cat's out of the bag. Hi, Alan. How are you?
These are acting secrets. You're not supposed to keep these acting.
Sorry.
I'm terrible with secrets.
All right.
Thank you.
So yeah, Gina's right. It's hard. Too hard for us.
Do you feel better now about the amount?
Yeah.
You want to come up here and do some Chinese or something?
All right, let's go over here to the right.
All right, Mr. Adamant, thank you for your service in New Mombasa. Between the character Jane and your character in ODST, who do you think would win in a fight?
Wow. This is mostly a Firefly crowd. I'm gonna say Jane.
If you were allowed to bring the grenades.
Right. Yeah, right.
Over here.
On the set for the show and for the movie, what, if anything, did you learn from your fellow actors and actresses?
Whoa.
That they hate my music.
I wouldn't say hate.
No.
The thing I learned was from you. No, it's a good thing. It's a good thing. It's okay. Relax. Adam would frequently have a prop in his hand, and he would always be doing something, even if the scene had nothing to do with Adam. He would be doing something, and you guys are dirty. Whoa. And we talked about it one day, and I was like, you always have a prop. And he said, but you know what? When you're doing something and you're in the background, the editor has no choice but to cut to you. So you're in the scene more. Smart.
What? Yep.
I was just reminded every day of how important a sense of play was when you're working. We are so fortunate to be living the dream, as it were, and get to do what we love to do and what we dreamed of doing as kids. And so when you get into the sandbox with all your little playmates and you just get to have fun, it's the best. And so you just try to bring that to whatever you get to do. And everyone was game. Bunch of fools. In the best way.
You're right. They were all fearless to play the fool, and I remember all of your laughter on it, because Nathan was like the instigator. He would try to make people laugh all the time, but you were the ones doing most of the laughing because he just figured out how to push your all's buttons. So it was just but it became infectious.
Yeah.
And then Joss would be like, enough.
Didn't he try to give us direction? I don't know. Nathan was telling a story and we were all laughing, and he was like, Nathan, what did I just say? And Nathan was like, I don't know. And he was like, what did we learn from this, Nathan? And Nathan was like, Joss is boss.
Summer, did you have anything?
Yeah, Joss was boss, but Nathan was also a really, really great captain, and not just on set, but off set, how he treated everyone. That's what I learned most. I mean, I learned a lot of things like how to stand on my mark and how to be on camera, because the cameraman, sometimes he had to move me from behind the camera to get me on my mark. That was really new. I learned how to do it since then, though. And, but the thing that I remember most is just watching how he, how he treated everybody, and how happy he was to be on set, and how gracious. Yeah.
Yeah, Nathan was a true leader. He was our department head, if you will. But like you say, he was always lifting everybody up and carrying us on his shoulders. And, he had the lion's share of the workload and all that stuff. And he just carried us along. So with great cheer. So, and he led with love. He didn't tend to lead. He didn't lead any love to Philadelphia this weekend, but we're just gonna. We'll forgive you.
I'm on Nathan's shoulders right now. And thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm sorry to introduce the first heavy question. One of the most constant criticisms that I've seen of Firefly, other than being canceled, of course, is that it takes place in a world that's half Chinese, but there's no Chinese representation. I was wondering if you had any response to that, or if you knew of any plans to include Chinese actors in the future.
Political correctness is evil.
Where's our Chinese guy? Would you like to address that?
I always thought it was because the Chinese were the wealthiest and we were the poorest. So our circles that we rolled in were the poor circles, the people that were really struggling.
Yeah, we were the 99%. Right?
Right.
And it goes downhill from there. Next question.
Hi, welcome to Philadelphia. In the episode of Heart of Gold, we know Gene got his play with the girls of the brothel. Jewel,
what?
Did you get to get any play from the boy horse?
What is happening today? No, I don't. It took Kaylee a long time to get lucky. That's what broke my heart the most when we got canceled. I'm serious.
Now, wait a minute. Weren't you getting lucky? Weren't you getting lucky in the pilot episode in the back? By
Yeah,
the
but
engine?
that was in the past. That was
Okay.
there was a long lull. There was a big lull in there. And Sean and I were both like, oh man, we never got together.
That's what your bunk is for.
So gross.
Thank you.
I saw that you signed one of the posters today, I'll be in my bunk. I was like,
and I've modified it now. Let's be bad guys in our bunks.
all class.
With a capital S.
I'm willing to be the fool. I'll play the fool.
Captain, are you going to clean this up a little bit?
Absolutely not. There were a couple unofficial
Firefly drinking games going around the internet. So, what would your rules be for your version of the Firefly drinking game?
Mine's easy. Sir.
I was gonna say, like, anytime Jane grunted, but then you'd be like hammered.
Summer, what would your drinking game be?
I've never had played a drinking game before.
Well, let's start that right now.
Oh, that's Summer. Drinking game? Jeez.
That's a good question.
I don't drink, I don't know. Depends on what the meaning of the word don't is. Right? I don't know. I guess every time I saw Vera, I'd take a pop.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
How you doing, guys? So I was just curious, how'd you guys feel about Wash dying?
Whoa. Thanks, dude. Appreciate it.
I think it needed to be a bigger harpoon, and it needed to go by even more quickly. It needed to be more in a blinking of an eye that he was dead. None of this lingering on it. None of these slow death scenes for Wash, so he can milk it. Just bam, dead, gone. That was in the director's cut.
I was devastated. I was devastated. He's the best pretend husband I've ever had. He's the only pretend. Because I ended up killing mine on 24. That wasn't a good marriage. Yeah, but I never get any. So it was really sad that I love. Rambling.
And now your real husband is your pretend husband at the same time.
Yes, and I'm dying. Oh, spoiler alert, sorry. Oh, come on. Half of you are online, and you know that.
So he makes you laugh because he's really funny.
Yes.
Sort of thing.
He kills me.
He's hilarious.
Same. Next.
Thanks, guys.
Is that your phone?
No.
Summer, did you want to comment on Wash's untimely death?
Well, I think I should say it was sad, although there was more room up there, for somebody else. Thank you. I thought so too.
Jewel?
It was super sad. I'm just glad it wasn't me. I am. We all are, guys. Yeah.
He basically took the hit for the team. Is that?
Yeah,
what
he
you're
did.
saying?
He's a real team player, that Watch.
Josh was like, someone's gonna die. Yes.
Was it my turn? I thought it was hers.
Is it your turn?
Yeah.
I apologize.
So you've all spoken a little bit about things that happened on set that you remember. When Charisma Carpenter spoke earlier today, she mentioned that she felt that her time on Buffy and Angel was like a master class in acting in terms of the emotional range that she had to go through and all the changes for her characters. So my question for each of you is, as an actor, related to specifically the craft of acting, what lessons have you taken away from your work in Firefly that have informed other characters you've portrayed?
That was deep.
Work closely with your prop master. It's very important. I took it even closer to. Actually, it's funny. A guy came up today with a screenplay, and it had Skip Crank, prop master. on the script. He had somehow gotten his hands on it. And Skip and I worked really closely together. He helped me figure out the whole belt and the guns and the whatever rifles I was working with. So that was something that I really dove headfirst into. I think that's the first time I really figured out that Jane had to be doing something all the time, to even people's distraction.
Have you taken that into other characters as well?
All of them since. Yeah, I think.
Zoe was a great lesson in stillness. She didn't say much, but like Adam and his props, I had to figure out how to be very present in every scene that I was in, regardless of whether I had anything to say or not. And I think that's very important because, you know, the editors tell you later, you're doing something, that, you know, your reaction to this or where you were, it gives them something to cut to. It lets them open up the scene a little bit more and let you guys in more as to, you know, what we're thinking. So I was always thinking, I always had to be there and available and open and present. So yes, that's something you use all the time.
For me, it would just be trusting my gut instincts, which is. Which is something I learned from you. Yeah, just not trying not to be afraid, you know, because I was new and I did have to do some things that were, you know, kind of pushing it, you know, taking risks.
They dropped you right in the deep end.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, they did. They did. I learned the hard way on that. I came down for my first big scene in the pilot, and I'd been waiting to do the scene where I jump out of the box. And it was time for me to rehearse it. And I remember I really did the first rehearsal full out. And everybody was so freaked out because I didn't know, you know, in rehearsal you kind of warm up into it and you figure out where you're going to stand, how you're going to fall out of the box, and, you know, make sure nobody gets hurt. And I just went full out. And afterwards, Joss came up to me and he was like, "Wow, yeah, that was full out." And everybody was just silent afterwards.
Yeah, I'm over there
going,
crazy. Rookie. Whoa, don't make the rest of us look bad.
Yeah, but just learning to feel safe and trusting going for it.
Yeah. No, I would say trusting your instincts too, because I remember a particular scene in Objects in Space, with Early in the engine room, and we did one take. Sorry, I just picked my nose. That's gross. We did one take, and then Joss said, "Okay, well now I want you to do what you want to do. So this take's for you." And so we did one, and that's the one we used. And he was like, "That's what I really wanted." And he's like, "Why were you holding all of that back?" And I was like, "I don't know. I didn't think that you would want me to do that." And he's like, "Always trust your instincts. Your first instinct is right." And I was 19, and, you know, it was nice to hear and take that with me, because I'm 21 now. 22 tomorrow. But yeah, that's an important thing to do as an actor. And I think that's something that, you know, especially early on, you're nervous to do, because you don't want to do the wrong thing.
Thank you.
And back to you.
Good afternoon, all of you. Congratulations to each one of you for your career so far. I mean, beyond Firefly, you all have phenomenal careers, and congratulations. You've done a wonderful job. I'm a fan of all. My question is, Joss Whedon is awesome. I love everything Joss has done. And do any of you have plans to work with him in the future? And if you do, or if you don't, do you wish to work with him again? Did you enjoy working with him?
Firefly Avengers.
Who said that?
Wasn't me.
He doesn't return my calls. I don't know.
Joss is one of those guys that says, you know, jump, you say how high. And if he calls and he wants to hire us again, I'm sure we would all agree to go and be in his world anytime. He's very busy now. He has a full plate.